The night was heavy with silence. A pale moon hung above the castle, shining through narrow windows, spilling silver light across the stone floor. Inside the great hall, the air was filled with dust, smoke from dying candles, and the weight of an uneasy kingdom. King Samuel sat alone at the long table. His crown lay beside him, tilted and forgotten. His hands shook as he lifted a golden cup, but he did not drink. His eyes wandered the hall, but seemed to look through it, as if seeing ghosts from the past. For months, the court had whispered of the king's failing mind. They said he spoke to voices no one else could hear. Guards told stories of him walking the halls at night, talking to shadows, clutching his chest as if stabbed by unseen hands. Prince David was the pride of the people. His voice was calm, his smile kind, his steps steady where his father's faltered. The people loved him deeply, and this love grew like a wound inside Samuel's heart. At first, Samuel had been proud of his son's popularity. But as the king's mind grew weaker, pride twisted into fear. Was David waiting for his father to fall? Was he planning to take the throne by force, as princes often did? The next morning was gray. Rain tapped gently on the windows. David entered his father's chamber as he had many times before. He came not as a rival, but as a loving son. "You come to feed me," Samuel whispered. "But maybe you bring poison." David sighed, his heart heavy. He knelt by the bed and placed his hand on his father's thin, shaking arm. That night, the storm outside grew wild. Thunder shook the castle and lightning lit up the walls. Samuel wandered barefoot through the corridors, his robe trailing. He muttered to shadows. He argued with ghosts. With a cry half full of pain and half of madness, Samuel raised his heavy staff and struck. A terrible crack echoed in the hall. David stumbled, blood pouring from his head, and collapsed into his father's arm. Samuel's anger vanished at once. He dropped the staff and held David close, pressing his hands against the wound. David whispered softly, "I forgive you. Even now. I forgive you." His head fell against his father's chest. The hall grew silent except for the storm outside. The old king wept loudly, his cries echoing through the castle like a broken spirit. Servants and guards stood frozen, unable to move or help. Days later, the kingdom mourned. Bells rang for Prince David, loved by all. His body was placed in the chapel, wrapped in linen and crowned with flowers. The people filled the streets, weeping for their prince. Samuel did not attend the funeral. He stayed in his chamber, unwashed, unfed, whispering to shadows that no longer answered him. His crown lay untouched, his scepter gathered dust. One evening, Samuel dressed in simple robes and went to the chapel. Kneeling by his son's tomb, he placed his crown on the altar. "My son," he whispered, "I could not protect you. Forgive me. Do not let me be forgotten." That night, Samuel left the castle. He walked into the fields and forests beyond the walls. Some said he became a hermit. Others said he died alone in the wild.